So Tesla is up another $8 or 2% in the overnights, and there are multiple reasons for that, and we'll get into all of that in just a second. But let's start here. Elon Musk did speak tonight or this afternoon at Charlie Kirk's memorial, and his main points were, quote, Charlie was someone who believed in open debate. He spoke eloquently. He basically never, ever raised his voice. He was a man of peace. And now he's been murdered in cold blood. We met many times. I supported Turning Point financially. On why Kirk was killed, he says, quote, because his words made a difference, because he was showing people the light and he was killed by the dark. So, never back down, never surrender. He always felt that when they actually made the threat, they were not the ones to worry about. This is according to Elon Musk about Charlie. The ones to worry about were the ones who don't make the threats. And I think you know what I mean. He knew the risk, but he and I shared a certain motto: never back down, never surrender, never back down. He believed in it so strongly, and he's totally right. The radicals and their allies in the media tried to silence Charlie for one simple reason: because he was winning, and he was winning big. Yeah. Does it sound like somebody else we know? Does it sound like Elon Musk? Does it sound like President Trump? They're winning, and they're winning big, and therefore there are people out there that don't like it for whatever reasons, for a multitude of reasons, and they're trying to stop these people. And with Charlie, they were unfortunately successful. Okay, let's dig into those reasons why Tesla stock is probably up in the overnights right now. By the way, I continue to believe that even with these three really cool things that happen, I don't think we're going to get to 440 this week, but I could be wrong, because right now things are looking pretty good. Tesla Ming, Tesla Ming reports that Dan Ives rates Tesla as an outperform with a target price of 500 and has a new note out. He writes in a new Tesla note, countless people are skeptical of Tesla's robotaxi vision, with many bears believing the day will never come. Now, Musk and Tesla need to lay the groundwork for autonomous driving development over the coming years, with more cities joining in the coming months. Musk is pushing this vision, and he's now in wartime CEO mode, which is undoubtedly good news for Tesla bulls as an AI arms race heats up in the tech world. We estimate, the quote continues, that the opportunity in AI and autonomous driving for Tesla alone is worth at least $1 trillion. Therefore, if you add that 1 trillion to the 1 trillion that's already on the table, that gives you 2 trillion, which is why we're going to be at 1,000 by the end of the year. Actually, that would only be 600 and something, but we'll get more. The on again, off again relationship between Musk and Trump creates a soap opera in this regard, but now it's back on again, according to Randy, according to what we saw today. And he didn't have this, he didn't have this information when he put this note out. But Trump ultimately wants the U.S. to stay ahead of China in this AI arms race, and autonomous driving is a key factor in determining who wins AI. Tesla plays a significant role in the autonomous taxi space. We expect that in the coming months, federal regulatory frameworks for autonomous driving will be relaxed, with federal regulators gaining more authority and states' power over autonomous driving rules frameworks, with the state's authority being reduced. And this, of course, if you combine what he's saying here with what we heard over the weekend, which I reported on earlier today, with the revised version I reported on just a few hours ago, the revised version of what NHTSA is doing right now. It's in the right direction, but it's not as good as we thought initially, but it's still in the right direction. And then you add that to the fact that the president and Mr. Musk are back enjoying each other's company again. So now that would be two things: the handshake between the president and Musk, not just a handshake, but conversation. Looked like they were enjoying themselves. And then we've got this note from Dan Ives, but we've got one more. We've got Piper Sandler increasing their number from 400 to 500. So their price target going up from 400 to 500. Between now and tomorrow morning on the show, I will see if I can find the note on Piper Sandler's change to see what they're saying, what caused them to make this change. Ray for Tesla yesterday was reported this, and I jotted it down. He says, I really like Tom Lee's investment philosophy. When you're investing, this is the philosophy, quote, when you're investing, you should really think of it more like you're buying companies, not just buying the stock market, because then you'll have a lot more conviction about what you own. I think when people really understand Tesla or Palantir, and then they don't worry, then when that happens, they don't worry about tariffs and inflation because they know that these are really smart companies. Someone was thinking that I'm sorry. That was the end of that story. I did it again. I didn't put any little marks here. Sometimes I put marks. Earlier today, someone asked me, challenged me on X. They didn't understand. They felt like Trump's vision, his vision for the future wasn't clear. And they were concerned that there was not such clarity. And I said, gee, I kind of think it is clear. So I'll write down what I think. And here you go. Trump's long-term plans. Number one, reduce regulation so that commerce flows more freely. This is especially true with regard to energy, but it's true across the board, and this is already happening. Regulations are being ripped up and torn up across the board. The next place that I think we're going to see a big change in regulations is going to be housing. Number two, reduce the tax burden on everyday Americans. He's already done that with the big, beautiful bill. I think we'll see more to come. Number three, increase the real earnings of the working poor and the middle class. Also, small business owners. We're already seeing all of those things taking place with corporate taxes being reduced, with the taxes on tips, the taxes on Social Security, et cetera, et cetera. I think we'll be seeing more of this. The real earnings of the working poor also are increasing again under Trump, as they did under Trump 1, when in fact they went down. Real earnings went down during Biden. Number four, reduce the deficit or eliminate it and start paying down the debt if we can eliminate it. Number five, and that's already happening too with the tariff money coming in, with the cuts, with the DOGE cuts that are happening, with the big, beautiful bill and other things, where the deficit, you watch, this is the last month. September is almost over. October is the first month of the new budget. Number five, create a better home building environment so that young people have more hope about getting a home. It's way up on the top of his list. Number six, create a golden age of prosperity. That's what he talks about all the time. And all of the things together, all these things that we're talking about, that's the goal, is to get this golden age of prosperity going. Number seven, eliminate all the nonsense such as DEI and related stupid stuff. That's already happening too. Massive changes with regard to universities, massive changes with regard to the mass media, massive big changes with regard to DEI and corporate America. I mean, it's just so much change going on right now in all of that, and we'll see way more coming up in the future. Number eight, massively increase the amount of energy supply and reduce the cost to the folks. Now, those will happen at the same time. If you have a lot more supply, then the cost will come down. Number nine, set an optimistic tone about America being great and doing good. Being great and doing good. That's who America is. That's the reputation we want, and that's the reputation he's striving for. Number 10, increase patriotism as we usher in the 250th birthday of the Republic. So there's 10 things. Maybe you'd like to add to it in the comments below. Maybe you question one or more of my items on that list, but I think that's a pretty clear vision. All right, we've been talking about Elon Musk with regard to his curiosity, his audacity, and his tenacity. And we've talked about curiosity. I did that yesterday on Friday night. Then on Saturday night. Then this morning, Sunday morning, I did audacity. And now I want to talk to you about tenacity. Now, we're doing this because we want to understand Elon Musk better. The better you understand the man, the better you understand the company, the better you will understand why you should be in the stock. And it will help you to make decisions about whether you think you want to be tenacious in hanging on to the stock. So these are all from Elon Musk. This is the way he describes himself. Musk often emphasizes not giving up, framing persistence as essential in the face of challenges. Quote, persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. quote, the strength of perseverance of the people of Tesla. Despite facing extreme difficulties, they persist. Quote, when something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. So you balance the importance against the difficulty. And if it's important enough, you go for it. Quote, starting and growing a business is as much about innovation, drive, and determination of the people to do it as much. Those are just as important, maybe more important than the product they sell. And I can tell you that my entire life, I've, as you know, had over 40 companies that I've started in my life, and it's still counting because I'm not, who knows, next month I might start another one. No, that's not, I don't think I'm going to. Anyway, and lots and lots of products, all kinds of products, maybe over 1,000 products over the time that I've been in business. And no, it's not about the product. It's about how you manage the product, manage the people, manage the company, and whether you're willing to hang in there. Quote, resilience probably does require adversity. So you need to learn resilience. You need some adversity in order to be taught how to deal with adversity by being resilient, by being able to hang in there when things go tough. But it would be cruel to apply that artificially. Yeah, so don't put artificial adversity in the way of your employees or in the way of yourself in order to learn how to become a better at the T part, the tenacity part of my CAT. Says, better to live, he said, this is again, quote, better to live life erring on the side of being optimistic and wrong rather than pessimistic and right. Be realistic, but as Monty Python would say, always look on the bright side of life. So some of you really love my optimism. Some of you comment on the fact that I'm very optimistic. Others of you say, Randy, that's a crazy, your quotes, these ideas that you had over the weekend, these price targets that you think that we're going to hit. Oh my gosh, those are crazy. What are you, out of your mind? Well, those are very carefully thought through. I give you the details of my analysis because the analysis is more important than my price target. My price target could be off by a lot, but if my analysis is right, then it should give you information that you might be able to use along with everything else that you know, and you put it all together in order to make a decision. But don't make decisions based on my price targets. That would be not a very smart thing to do. But the price targets are the price targets, and they're optimistic because I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. That's just how I roll. That's how Elon rolls. Then he says, quote, if you're not progressing, you're regressing. So keep moving forward. Been watching football all day, of course, today. And, the ball's got to keep going downhill. If you're turning around and running the other way, it rarely works out. Keep on heading downhill. And then finally, I think this is the last. No, this is not the last one. He says, to meme the impossible meme, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run with the brave, dare not go, to, this is a very famous song. It's one of my favorites in the world in terms of the words that are in it. But he changed the beginning, of course, to meme the impossible meme. So anyway, but the idea here is go, 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 no matter what. All right, quote, I will fight to my last drop of blood to ensure that this country remains the land of freedom and opportunity. And he put his money where his mouth was on that particular thing with $44 billion invested in Twitter. And now look at it. And then finally, this is the final one, but we will look up the Tesla stock quote before we go. Victory is not enough. It must be absolutely decisive victory. How about that one? That's a new one for me. That's something I would love to think about a little more now. All right, let's take a look now. We are at 434. The stock seems completely stuck at 434. Wouldn't you be happy if it opened tomorrow and even closed at 434? In fact, a close above 430 is supposed to be a signal, according to those who do the technical stuff. However, the 440 to me is the breakthrough point. That's the point at which we need to get in order to make our next move up to all-time highs. Now, there are some technical guys out there that are saying there's another barrier around 460 and change. I forget exactly. They probably have a very exact number that we have to beat. But I'm saying if we can get through, if we can close above 430, we have a real shot at 440. This could happen this week. I think there's a very good chance that we hit 440 this week. I think there's a very good chance that we close, that we get to 440 and we stay at 440 through the weekend. We 440 on Monday, Tuesday. Then the numbers come in on Wednesday. No, I'm sorry, is it Wednesday? Thursday, until Thursday. So, but I don't think we're going to go over 440 until the numbers come in on Thursday. And then if the numbers are a solid beat, we might go over 440. Now that 10-day period gives us an awful lot of time for us to see other positive things, like more and more of these people coming out with their price target changes. But more importantly, at this point, because we've had a couple of 3 price target changes already, now what we're going to be looking for is more progress in especially Austin. But anything that looks like we're getting serious about the robotaxi as a actual business, where it's actually catering to lots and lots of people, and there's lots of cars out there without safety riders. Okay, so 440 by the end of the week, probably, maybe into next week it'll take, but probably by the end of this week, 440. And I think we'll hang around that 440. People say, oh, it might go down, oh yeah, it might go down. It might go back into the 300s again, might go to 390. That's a very, some people think that's a good thing, that it needs to go down and build that base again. I would be more inclined to think it might try the 410 level again, but we've already tested that 3 times and we bounced off it all 3 times. In fact, last time it didn't get to 410, it bounced at about 412, 413. So I think we're in pretty good shape right now. I think we go to 440. I think we break through 440. I think we're at all-time highs at or around the meeting, around the 21st, 2nd, 3rd. That's when we will, sometime between now and then, or maybe right after then, we'll get to all-time high. But I've predicted all-time high at least once before. All right, let's see. So if you want to go back and look, we did the regular Sunday. If you don't, every week you should be always watching the Monday morning show, which of course is on Sunday night. And that's up at the card right here. So that's what you want to go back and check out if you haven't done so already. Regular day tomorrow. We'll see you. It's been great talking to you.